anywhere.
Sure, I would assume very little.
I would think Jalen would not have, but we don't know. Jalen likes to talk.
He does like to talk.
He keeps it real.com.
And headlines. We've got all sorts of fun stuff. I kind of like this time of year because it's the last hurrah for players to go out, have their vacation. Social media lets them share it with us, and we will share it with you. But it's time for the lead block.
Lead block!
I want to start with Dallas. The quarterback, Dak Prescott, spoke at his annual youth football camp and talked about his expectations for the Cowboys this season. He said, "My expectations are high. Not necessarily any ceiling on what I can do or what this team can do. It's just been about work, simply just working to get better in every aspect of my game, making sure my teammates are doing the same. We're excited for the position we're in." Let's talk about a ceiling, because it's very interesting. That's a little thing that sort of perked up my ears a little bit when I read this quote. What is the ceiling for the Cowboys? Is there truly no ceiling? Because we've seen them take down the Saints, but we've also seen them lose 23-zip to the Colts.
Yeah, we've seen them do some special things in this league, but then they'll turn around in the opposite weekend and play like a team that doesn't have their stuff together. For me, I think their ceiling, it's ruthless. I mean, when it comes to their expectations, it's being the organization, the standard in the NFL that is constantly in the playoffs and has a chance to win a Super Bowl. Now, they haven't been that team in quite some time, but when they go 10-6 last year and you look at all the moving pieces, Jason Witten coming back, Ezekiel Elliott needs a contract, Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper in a full season now with the Cowboys, why wouldn't they have a chance to win a Super Bowl? So I feel like that's what he's talking about. I would love for Dak to just come out and say it. The pressure's on. We need to go to the Super Bowl. That's what the expectations are. But in so many words, that's what he meant.
They haven't been to a Super Bowl since the January of '96, and I don't think they've had back-to-back good seasons in a decade. I mean, I remember 2 years ago they were coming off a season where Dak went head-to-head with Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game. It was a tough loss because I thought Dak played excellent and the Cowboys hung with the Packers. But then they answered that with a bad year. And they came back last year and they were good. And okay, we're in the playoffs again and we're going to beat the Seahawks at home. And then you lose because C.J. Anderson's running all over you on that defense and you can't answer in L.A. To me, the ceiling is, of course, ruthless. I mean, they could win the Super Bowl, sure.
Right.
But reality starts seeking in when, okay, this guy needs to get paid. That guy needs to be paid.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Jalen Smith needs to be paid. Byron Jones needs to be paid. And I'm not sure how this Dak thing bleeds into the regular season. If this deal isn't done in the next couple of weeks, then we get to Oxnard, California. That's all anyone's talking about at training camp. Then we get to preseason.
Right.
You're not going to see much of Dak. It's all anyone's talking about.
True.
And suddenly, things start getting in your head. And I don't know. Cowboys haven't been good back-to-back years in forever. I'm not saying it's a slam dunk that they're the favorites in the NFC East, let alone the NFC.
You know these contracts, how they go, the timing. Are you surprised this isn't done yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm surprised. And I'm surprised some of the public comments from the Cowboys, even early on in the process when Stephen Jones a couple of weeks ago came out and said that if we all take, responsible contracts, we could all win and all make I hated that. And I think that was a telltale sign that, hey, this thing isn't as close as it is. And I will say this, I've said it on the show a bunch. Dak's agent is a guy named Todd France. He does not suffer fools. He is not looking for any hometown discounts. And when Carson Wentz's agents got what they got for Carson Wentz, despite the fact he hasn't finished an NFL season in 2 years, that tells me that they're going to want the same stuff for Dak Prescott. I'm not sure the Cowboys are going to be willing to. And speaking of Dak, one of his favorite targets is Amari Cooper. He spoke about his pending contract negotiations with Dallas. Take a listen here.
It really doesn't matter to me. I'm not even really thinking about that. I'm just more focused on how I play and how I approach the game, the type of work that I put in. I really want to play well. I think everything starts with that. If you play good football, you're going to be around for a long time. And I do want to be a Dallas Cowboy for a long time. Like I said, I love the organization. I love everything we have going on here.
Cooper's going to the final year of his contract, but he was talking about Dak Prescott, says he's just a competitor. He wants to do everything the right way. I haven't played with too many guys like Dak Prescott, so I think he definitely deserves everything that's coming to him. This is the quote to me. He definitely deserves to be paid amongst the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. So, pending contract negotiations with Prescott, Cooper, Jalen Smith, Byron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott. It's all going on. Yeah. Nate, do these guys talk to each other internally about who's getting what, whose agent's doing what? And where do you come out when you're saying, okay, we got a season coming up, but we all can't get paid but only a few of us can. How does that work in the locker room?
Yeah, there's a trend lately where players will be very vocal about guys on their team getting paid. And we had Cam Jordan come on the show, and he was talking about himself, and he talked about different individuals on the team that need to get paid. He mentioned Mike Thomas yesterday on the show, his star wide receiver with the Saints. And Amari Cooper saying the same thing. He said, I've been around players in this league. I haven't been around too many guys like Dak Prescott. And I think he's echoing what all of us Dak Prescott fans are saying. With what he has been able to do over the first 3 years of his career, why not pay this man amongst the highest paid in the league? And this is, I think, with social media and guys being more open, being more transparent, I believe that this trend will continue. You don't walk in the locker room and keep everything hushed. You talk to the player, you talk to the individual. It's just like us, right? If you guys were up for a contract, I would be very vocal about your talent, your skill level.
We don't have a
Not if
salary
there's
cap.
a salary cap.
I know, but I'm just saying,
no way.
regardless of the salary cap, I'm just saying I would be vocal as your teammate promoting you.
It could be zero-sum, though. It could be zero-sum where if you're taking away from K to go to – I'm saying, like, it's different when there's a salary cap. So if Dak Prescott –
It's not different for a guy like Amari Cooper. We started off by you saying that he doesn't care about the money. What did he say? He said, I care about being the best wide receiver. Everything else will handle itself. That's the most unselfish approach to getting a new deal that I've ever heard. So for that reason, he'd rather see his quarterback get paid first. Amari Cooper knows that he's going to get paid regardless. That's just the way the game goes.
No,
when
he
you're a great
doesn't, because
receiver,
somebody's
you'll get
not
paid.
going to get paid.
He's going to get paid.
I mean, I think he answered the question. I mean, he wants the ball this year. What's he going to say? I went and I spent a long part of my morning looking up whether or not Amari Cooper had any words about Derek Carr.
Deep dive.
And his well, because, if he's saying the same thing about Derek Carr before he got paid, then he's saying a good thing about his quarterback like he should. I couldn't find anything talking about that, but he has to see this. Any player does. Derek Carr got paid. That had to have a little something to do with the fact that he was shipped out of Oakland. There wasn't room at the inn. There wasn't enough money for his services. They needed to add other things. They couldn't redo Khalil. They couldn't redo Cooper. So for him to be saying this makes me scratch my head a little bit, but there's no other way you could answer the question.
Listen, if you're Amari Cooper, regardless if the Cowboys pay you or somebody else pays you, he will get broke off. And I think that's his approach. When the individual says, I'm just here to play football, I'm going to handle what I need to handle, and the contract will take care of itself, that's the guy looking in the mirror saying, if the Cowboys don't pay me, somebody else will. So the best way to approach it is to make sure your brothers get paid.
Truth of the matter is they can franchise tag any of these guys for a year, kind of delay it and pay them the average salary, the top 5 highest paid wide receivers. But the pecking order does matter. And every day that we head towards the season, this conversation amplifies. And guys, it's 7 a.m. in June. We're starting our show talking about who's getting paid from the Cowboys and why their quarterback hasn't been paid. I don't know if they're anywhere closer than they were 2 months ago, which is what's really concerning for me.
Packers paid Aaron Rodgers. Are they any closer to getting another trophy, another ring for him? Maybe with a new head coach. We'll talk about the NFC North. Who's got it easier, LaFleur or Zach Taylor? Yeah, we're going there. And will the new approach for Todd Gurley erase our playoff memory?
Oh, that's just not fair. We're going to show. We had 20 touchdowns last year, guys.
I don't need this. This image
That's
is
it. That's the show. That's the clip we show.
I don't get it.
He's on an exercise bike.
Y'all got my dude's putting a casket on.
Good Morning Football is brought to you by Team